Hello friends, in today's video we are going to learn the oil circulation of a 4-stroke engine. Now this engine is from a Mahindra Duro scooter, and it's a 125cc engine. Now you can see I have just assembled it to show you how it works. This is where the wheel goes, and on the other side you can see this is the drive shaft, which is attached with the gearbox that rotates the wheel. It's a reduction gearbox, and this is where the centrifugal clutch comes, and the CVT and everything goes in this side. You can see the engine is totally open and all the bolts are open. I've just put it together to show you how the oil circulation works in this engine. You can see the crankshaft is outside, it's not inside. So let's begin. Now you can see the main crankcase is divided in 3 pieces, and you can see uh, these are the 3 pieces that when bolted together becomes the crankcase. You can see this is where the starter motor fits. The shaft goes in from here and is attached here, which rotates the crankshaft. And you can see here, this is the oil pump. Where the oil pump is fits, this is the place where it fits, and you can see on the left side this is the intake of the pump, and on the right side this is the outlet of the oil pump. Now this inlet is internally connected with this cavity, and you can see that the connection, that the cavity actually rises up from the side. From here the oil is sucked internally through here, which rises to this level. You can see on the other side, both the pieces when comes together they form a passage for the oil to get sucked into the oil pump. Now as the oil um, gets here, you can see this is the oil strainer, where the oil strainer is tightened, and it sucks the oil directly from the sump through the oil strainer. This is where the oil is poured in inside the chamber, and the oil level is just above right here. This is the oil level where it is maintained, and the oil gets sucked from this section, this place, and it gets sucked through the oil strainer to the oil pump. You can see internally it is you can see there is a open space so that the oil can spread out evenly. This is the entire space. It can carry about 800 ml of oil. This is the timing chain tensioner. You can see I'm holding right now. So this is how the oil gets sucked inside the pump. The main important part is the oil strainer, and the oil strainer was not here, so I doubt why this engine was damaged, because there was no oil strainer and lot of sludge was inside. Now from the outlet of the pump, the oil travels through this cavity. This one is also internally connected, and it travels through this cavity, and you can see on the other side the cavity uh, gets blocked through the gasket, so it goes up, and here you can see it is completely blocked. So it acts as another passage inside the wall that rises up, and here it divides in two ways. One section travels to the camshaft, the blockhead. From here it travels around the bolt, the space between the bolt, or you can say uh, the cavity where the bolt is fitted. It travels around the bolt and goes to the blockhead, and the other section where the oil travels downward towards the crankshaft, just opposite to the top hole. In the bottom you can see this is where the oil travels towards the bearing housing. Now there is a small notch or a groove cut into the bearing housing, and it creates a gap between the bearing and the housing, and from where the oil gets uh, squirted out. After the bearing is fitted, it makes a small gap between it from where it squirts. You just saw me pointing out where the timing chain fits in the crankshaft. This is how it fits in here. As it fits in here, you can see the oil gets squirted from the edge of the bearing, which lubricates the bearing, and you can see inside of the crankshaft there is a metal plate that is a little bit hammered because it was repaired before, and it forms like a bucket, this metal plate in the side, and it, while rotating, the centrifugal force traps the oil inside, and you can see the connecting bearing is attached with a pin, and there is a hole in here from where the oil travels inside to lubricate the connecting bearing and passes all the way through. Here the centrifugal force actually pushes the oil outwards, and that's why it travels inside. On the other side there is a small hole from where the oil lubricates the other side of the bearing in the crankshaft. You can see here the timing gear and the small hole right in here. Yes, you can see here this small hole from where the oil comes out. Now as the crankshaft is rotating at high RPM, the oil after coming out of here gets squirted and gets thrown towards the pistons. Now the oil that is going into the camshaft comes down through the channel or the cavity of the timing chain, and this oil also lubricates the bearing on this side, and then it hits or touches the crankshaft, which rotates and throws the oil outside or towards the piston. You can see the small notches cut into the connecting. Now as the crankshaft is rotating at high RPM, the centrifugal force pushes or throws the oil outside from this cavity, and the oil that is coming out from here goes towards the bottom part of the piston and lubricates that, and lubricates the cylinder as well. The high RPM actually enables the circulation of the oil in the crankshaft. Here you can see I'm pointing out where the oil gets thrown outside. Now you can see the connecting where it attaches to the piston, that was actually loose because no oil was going there, and you can see how the piston was damaged due to the lack of oil. I'm going to replace this piston and replace it with a new one with new rings. However, the cylinder seems okay and it will do the job for now. I hope this piston works. You'll see in my later video whether it works or not. Actually, oil pump is the most important component of a four-stroke engine. In other engines, I have seen that the oil is directly squirted into the main components, and it was thrown outside through a small jet which actually squirts the oil upside towards upwards towards the piston. But here the rotation of the crankshaft actually throws the oil everywhere, and the oil goes upwards towards the piston. I hope I'm able to explain it to you properly how the oil is circulated. Now you can see here the place where the oil gets divided. One section goes to the crankshaft, the other part from where it travels towards the camshaft. You can see the cylinder is and the cylinder fits fairly loosely to in these bolts, and there is a few millimeter gap between the cylinder and the bolt, and the oil travels between this gap. We can see a small notch cut into this bolt, and the oil from the small jet or the small hole comes out and travels around the bolt towards the top of the engine, or you can say in the camshaft. This is where it goes in and comes out from here, and the oil travels around this bolt to the top of the blockhead. Now the top portion, the nut actually seals it off, but there is a passage from where the oil gets diverted and goes directly into the camshaft. You can see the bolt, and this is where the oil is diverted towards the camshaft right here, and this is where the timing gear is fitted, and the timing chain is fit in here, and you can see this is the tappet from for the exhaust, and this is where the intake tappet is. The rocker arm and everything is fairly visible. Now as the oil goes in, the camshaft rotates, and it throws the oil everywhere and comes out from passages, and it goes down the crankcase through this way, where the timing chain comes in, the timing chain cavity. The oil returns through here, and it returns to the crankcase after lubricating the bearing on this side of the crankshaft. As the engine rotates, suppose the engine RPM is 2000, then the camshaft RPM is half of it, as it's a four-stroke engine, and that's how the the camshaft actually throws the oil everywhere. You can see this is the oil pump that I have shown you in my previous video. It has a plastic pinion gear in it, and it was damaged, and that's why previously the oil was not circulating and the engine was damaged. The piston was completely gone. This pinion is not available, so I had to fix it with epoxy. I wonder why the company make this pinion out of plastic, because maybe if the pump gets blocked, so that the pinion can break open without damaging further any other components, maybe that's why they make it with PVC. I hope this pinion gear works. Plus I need to fabricate out a oil strainer here. I have an idea of making an oil strainer from a wire mesh gasket that I have found in from a microwave magnetron. Now the audio that I have recorded with this video actually was not good enough, so I'm recording this audio separately. That's why you might notice there is no sync with my hand movements and my voice. So this is the entire engine. Thanks for watching.